Hi, welcome. Hamish Taylor here with a quick video about taking bloods yourself. And what we mean by that is a finger prick blood test. Now, we use a lot of these finger prick blood tests here in clinic, and this is a short video, really part of our patient information series to help you spend a bit of time collecting your thoughts and just getting this done right. Everyone wants to get this done right the first time. There's always a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of anxiety around getting this right. You've invested in the test. But I want you not to worry. If it goes wrong, if something goes wrong in the collection process, we can always get a new test sent out to you. It's a bit of a hassle from a time point of view, but please don't worry about that. So we use two labs for these finger prick blood tests on the whole. One of them is to look at different markers in between a main blood test evaluation. And one of those companies is Medichecks. I've got one of their older packages here, and the other one is for Cambridge Nutritional Sciences. Again, one of their older packages, but the principle is the same. It's not going to detract from this video at all. So essentially, when you open up the pack, you're going to be presented with a number of different things. And the main thing that you're going to find is one of these different types of finger prick testing needles. And the Cambridge Nutritional Science pack is a little bit different, but it's essentially the same thing. And it's got a spring-loaded needle that sits, let's get the camera right, sits inside that hole there. And that's the Cambridge one. And this one here, you take the end off and you just twist it off and you've got the same spring-loaded situation here. Now, obviously that's sterile up until that point, so you don't need to worry. But the main thing that people get concerned about is, are they going to get enough blood? And very simply, you probably will, but you may not. And if you don't, as I say, don't worry. We can always get blood drawn with a butterfly needle, but that takes a phlebotomist to do that, and my colleague will always be able to help you out with that. There's a small charge for that to get it done, and obviously you'd have to attend the clinic. If you can't attend the clinic and you want to do one of these tests, then we can put you in touch with a local phlebotomist and take it from there. But that's beyond the scope of this video, and you would have already spoken to me or one of my partners to discuss where we go from here if you wanted to get in touch with another phlebotomist, etc. So essentially what you're trying to do, and both of these tests don't require very much blood, finger prick tests don't, and essentially you have a vial holder, and inside the vial holder is an extremely small vial, and inside that is almost an even smaller vial, which is all part of its integrity. And again, the same situation for the Cambridge Nutrition. We've got a container and we've got a small vial in a small vial. This is not about the actual test itself and what this is for, but mainly for our food intolerance and food sensitivity testing, for our allergy testing, and also for our individual testings like HbA1c, for our full iron panel, a more detailed thyroid panel, those sorts of things. Often testing for B12 and things like that, vitamin D seasonally as well. And you can refer back to some of my HbA1c video or the video on vitamin D for a bit more information about that. But this is all about just a quick finger prick test, what to do. So essentially, you want your hands nice and warm. So do the washing up in nice warm water without gloves on. Get your hands nice and warm. You want to be warm, go for a brisk walk, and you clearly need to be ideally well hydrated. That can make a huge difference. And essentially what you want to do is choose the right finger, and usually we recommend the ring finger. Well, it doesn't matter which hand, but usually the left finger because you've got more control with your right. Clearly, if you're left or right-handed, you decide. But where most people go wrong is they think that they need to prick it on the actual pad and on the center of the pad. I wouldn't recommend that. A, it's more painful. B, it's a little bit thicker. And C, it doesn't bleed as well. D, it takes longer to heal and it's more annoying because it's on the pad. What we recommend is have a look at your finger and take a line which is basically where the nail finishes and about 4 o'clock or about 8 o'clock on your finger. So I don't know if you can see those two divots. Yes, you can. So we're basically coming in at the side, either side of your finger. And what you do there is obviously you've cleaned it off. There's usually a little sterile swab, but just give it a good wash. Make sure it's nice and dry, and then just take a deep breath and imagine that you're gardening and it's going to be a prick, obviously. It's going to be a little bit tender, but then it should start to bleed straight away. You'll usually get a drip or two straight away if your hand's nice and warm. And then you can just get your vial and you literally are going to get your vial. Try not to touch this. You can see this has got a little bit of a scoopy lip on it, and you're literally just going to scoop that off here. You can do it with your hands facing down, because then obviously the gravity itself can help, and you can just literally scoop some blood into that. Now, where most people go wrong then is that they start to milk the finger. Now, you can hold the vial in the other hand, but you don't want to milk it continuously. You want to do one good milk to get a nice blob of blood on there, and then scoop it up again. Hold it there, so I'm just holding it with my thumb here, and then another scoop, and get it. Now you can move your hand about here and just get it, maybe shake it down a bit, but obviously don't get any blood anyway. And then another long scoop. So you can see that I'm really squeezing the blood up to that finger. And then another scoop. And you need about 6 to 10 drops in there. And that is really all there is to it. So the main thing is pick a finger that isn't your index finger. Ring finger is best. It's big finger, good blood flow, and essentially you want to be going at these 2 points at either 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock using a clock face situation. And that way you're more likely to get good blood flow and get the drips of blood you need. And once you've done that, then you can relax, because you just need to label up all the vials and get them sent off. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's been useful. Obviously you can replay this again, and you can use obviously the other finger too. And if you need someone to help you, very often people prefer someone else to actually finger prick them, fire the needle, then that's fine. But you do need to make sure that you've got a good pressure. But the whole point is it only fires when you've got the right pressure on the finger. Most people don't have a problem with this at all, but please don't worry if you do. And if you run out of the needles, then just get in touch with us again and we'll get some more sent out to you. Hope that makes sense. Any questions or comments, do stick them down below, and watch our other videos if you wish, if that makes sense, around the HbA1c and the vitamin D in particular. It's a very common reason why we would do these finger prick blood tests. Look forward to hearing from you if you've got any questions. Bye for now.